before you got on today, I asked if I should go hatless because the hair is still intact from last night's BattleBot shoot. I think.
Oh my gosh!
What do we think?
Think cement?
I know. I think I'll go Kansas City Monarchs, though. I feel good about it. Hey, September 1st, happy baseball today, everyone. This means the rosters expand. Now, these days, it only goes from 25 or 26 to 28, whatever we're at these days. But back when you played, that dugout would be jam-packed. You could get like 36, 37 guys in there, right?
Oh my gosh, the locker room would be packed, a bunch of fresh faces. I could tell people that, hey, go give me a Gatorade, Rook. Like, that's the best part about it. Now you can't do that because it is 28 dudes. They're only allowed to bring up 2.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I think competitively, Chris, is probably better for the league and for the fans. You have to watch pitching changes every second.
Yep.
But there's a lot of guys who now aren't going to get that cup of coffee.
Yep.
So it's tough because that's a lot of the times, this is the only time a guy would get a chance.
Yeah.
Many organizational players who have just kind of hung around, been good, you know, players and good people get this opportunity, and now they're not going to.
You know what I would do? I would extend it to like 30 or 32, but you can't make everybody active on a game day.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
well,
there'd be.
So then they'll be paying people for nothing.
Right, and I know that's the league doesn't want that, but once again, life's about compromise. Unless you're all about being billionaire owners and keeping your thumb on people.
Ooh.
I didn't say that. Let's get going. Baez, Lindor met the media before the completion of a suspended game yesterday, a game they came back and scored 5 in the 9th and won. Javier Baez got booed by the crowd when he came up to the plate. Fans were giving the thumbs down. Mets end up winning 2 games yesterday. They're kind of back in this thing. Can we put it to bed, or is this going to continue through the rest of the season?
It's already in bed. This thing is sleeping, dude. That's what winning does. I've always said it on this show. Winning trumps all. Performance trumps all. If you go out there and do your thing, look, they had to apologize too. I think it was a sincere apology by Lindor, by Baez before the game. And like we were talking about, it was just more of miscommunication than anything, I think. And then the media takes it and runs with it because it's a shiny thing that you can say, look at this, come click my article, come click my website. You know, that's how I felt.
Except that Baez, should they not have reported it? Because Baez said it.
You can report it, obviously. But, like, to the extent that it went out, that's not that big of a story. It's made that way because it's the Mets and it's New York and all this stuff. But winning cures all, 3 in a row. And here's how I know it's put to bed. Because Sandy Alderson, the guy who wrote the response after the game, was on the ground looking for Javi Baez's piece of jewelry that he lost when he crossed home plate to win the game. The bridges are back together. We're all good. All is good in Mets land. Unfortunately, Chris, I've declared them dead. So all this winning is probably for nothing. But I'm happy for Mets fans right now.
I will not declare them dead just yet. Last month has provided us with some crazy entertainment over the last few decades, so I won't ever count out a team as long as they still have a heartbeat like that. As far as the other thing, is it dead? In my opinion, it should be. These are a couple of guys who are in their 20s, and Kevin Pillar, who I believe is in his early 30s, and some other guys who did this as well. I call that a mistake. And guess what? If you don't have the ability to accept somebody's apology, that's on you. There are certain people in the media and there are a certain group of fans that will never give up. You know, they'll constantly boo Javier Baez for the next 2 weeks. Fine. If that's the way you really want to live your life, if you were that offended by what he did and you can't move on after a guy says he's sorry, shame on you. It really wasn't that big of a fucking deal. There's way more important things going on in this world than a bunch of major league players doing this.
Yes.
Stack up, move on. Thank you.
Move on.
Like to Blake Snell last night, who threw 7 no-hit innings and then was removed after 109 pitches. Now the Padres are back in a tie with the Reds for that second wild card. Is Snell the most important pitcher the final month of the season for the San Diego Padres?
I think so, and I'll tell you why. Not just because of what he brings on the mound. Last night, his stuff was nasty. Like, he had that good angle down with his heater, and then his slider, curveball, breaking ball, whatever you want to call it, was playing right off of that. He was missing bats like crazy. But what this does, it allows them to have three dudes. You got, who am I missing here? Musgrove, you got Darvish, no. And now they're bringing back Lamet, and it allows them now to put him in the bullpen, where they've kind of like been used a lot this last month. Lamet in the bullpen is a freaking weapon. So you got your three horses up top, then you got bullpen reinforcements, and that's what you have to do to win at the end of the season and then obviously into the playoffs. That's the formula. So Blake Snell being Blake Snell, and everyone's saying Larry Rothschild gone, Blake Snell. Blake Snell again. I think that's exactly what the Padres need.
Except his name's not Yu Darvish. That is the most important guy down the stretch. July, his ERA 7.3. August, when he only threw, I think he only made 3 starts because he spent time on that injured list. 6.3. He's given up 12 homers in his last 8 starts. Let's remember, for about a 2-year run, he was one of the best pitchers in baseball. Right? From about the middle of 2019 through the All-Star break this year, he was as dominant virtually as anybody. He's got to get back to that form because it's not just about making the wild card for this team the way they've been constructed. It's not just about winning a wild card game. It's about taking that next step. Last year, they got smoked in the divisional round by the Dodgers. They did not win a game. If they're going to win, Yu Darvish has got to be you or him.
Yeah, July and August has not been kind to you.
No, it is not.
But I think of you, I think blip on the radar, he'll return to form when they need him to. I'm hoping because that's what he's always done. But I agree. They're both very important.
Yeah, they are, but that's why we asked the question, try to narrow it down to one.
Okay, how about this? I'm going to give you 1C now. Lamet going to the bullpen is very important to this team. They need enforcements there. So,
Trev,
Padres
don't you worry about him? Like every time out, there's some sort of injury. You can't say that if you're the Padres, you're like, yeah, we got Lamet back. Because you're saying it like this. We got Lamet back. Like he's a stud, but right now I don't trust him health-wise. And I feel terribly for the kid.
Yeah, I was looking at Snell pitch last night, watching the highlights.
Uh-huh.
He'd be a weapon out of the bullpen. I know, like, you want him to be a starter, but just, like, his stuff, like, the way it was playing, if you let that dude go for an inning, just like, hey, run it. We're talking high 90s lefty with an absolutely devastating breaking ball.
I know.
I wonder if that's in the cards for him later, like a John Smoltz type of career renaissance.
Well, Smoltz was thrown out there because of injury, so it had nothing to do with effectiveness. I mean, he was coming back from major arm surgery, and then he ended up going back to being a starter. So it was one of the crazy careers of all time. All right. Those of you on the East Coast probably haven't been paying attention to what the Brewers have done the first 2 nights out in San Francisco, but it's a little really taking it to them so far. 4-game set. Is Milwaukee just as good as those 2 heavyweights atop the National League West, the Giants and Dodgers?
Yeah, 100%. Although maybe 99%, because the Dodgers lineup, when they're healthy and everything is there, is so freaking good.
Hey, hold on. You can't say when healthy. We can't play that game anymore.
Well, they're healthy.
They're as close to healthy as they've been lineup-wise all year, yes.
Cody Bellinger is a role player. The 2019 MVP is a role player on the Dodgers. Think about that a little bit. So the Dodgers, I think, are the best. They're still the best team. They're half game out now, by the way.
Yep.
Still the best team, but the Brewers are set up so freaking well for the playoffs. Because the playoffs, the best team doesn't always win, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
The Brewers have the law firm, Woodruff and Burns, who are just absolutely disgusting. Ashby's a new guy that they just found, lefty throwing cheese. And then Peralta's coming back. Like, they're set up so well. And the additions of Escobar, who's coming back this week too after the hammy injury. Adames has been the key for them all year long.
Yep.
Where would they be without Adames? They wouldn't have a lead, that's for damn sure. So I think I think that the Brewers and the Dodgers are going to have to battle it out at some point during the playoffs, I hope. And those two teams are the best two teams in the league right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if that's the NLCS, like it was a few years ago, and they gave us a great 7-game series where Walker Buehler started Game 7, and he gave up the first inning homer, I think, to Yelich, and then shut him down after that. Speaking of which, Christian Yelich is the key. Better OPS in the month of August, 831, nowhere close to his MVP and MVP runner-up finish, but if he can round a little bit more into form, that, to me, that is the total wild card, is what is Christian Yelich bringing to the table come October against teams like the Dodgers and or the Giants if they have to face them somewhere down the road. But the way they're constructed pitching-wise, in my opinion, they're set up better than any National League team.
Yeah. They're gonna have to put some really good starters in the pen. Like, they have too many good starters. The pen's already good. They're gonna have to make some adjustments. It's gonna be a tough job for Counsell to pare that roster down for the playoffs, just because he has so many guys who have contributed all season long. They're incredible. We talk about the Rays having arms, like the arms right now.
And they all understand their role out there too, man. It's great. It's great. They're a really, really good team. They're a fun team to watch. They got good energy, and they let you guys run in a sausage race. So what isn't there to like about it?
And they just went into San Francisco and have dominated.
Yeah. Well, there are 2 more games left, and Gossman, who has not been the same pitcher since making the All-Star team, he goes, and then Webb, who's been simply phenomenal this year, will wrap up that 4-game set on Thursday. So that could be really interesting. All right, next question. Coolest homer that was hit last night between these 3. Rafael Marchand of the Phillies, catching last night, hits a home run. He had never gone deep in almost 1,100 minor league plate appearances. Abraham Toro hits a grand slam, not only against his old team, the Astros, but against Kendall Graveman, the guy he was traded for at the deadline. Or Ahmed Rosario of the Indians hits 2 homers, including an inside-the-park job.
Man, that homer when you haven't hit any in your minor league career is pretty cool, but I'm going to give it to Toro just because, not even because it was up in Graveman, and I know people have talked about that, like these guys were traded for each other. It's more like because he hit it against the Astros, the team that traded him. There's always going to be a chip on his shoulder when he's playing the Astros. And to be able to do it in a time where Seattle needs every single win they can get. The Astros are still fine in the division. They're not sweating yet. I don't think they will sweat the rest of the year necessarily. But Seattle has to win. Like, they got to go. And for him to do it that late in the game, Granny, I think that was the coolest home run. It has to feel so, so good. Not like the Astros didn't want to have him, but, there's always that feeling like, well, you traded me. I guess I wasn't necessarily that big of a plan for your future. And to go do it against them is really cool. It's got to be very, very satisfying for him.
Yeah, so for Marchand, it wasn't even his first Major League home run. It was his second Major League home run. So if it had been his first, it'd be an easy answer. But because it was his second, it's just kind of a cool little story to keep.
His first.
Huh?
I thought you said it was his first.
I did not say that. I said he went deep last night, even though all I'm saying is that it's kind of cool that the guy doesn't go deep in his minor league career. Now he's got 2 bumpers.
How does that happen? How do you not hit a home run in the minor leagues, dude?
Further fences? I don't know.
That's crazy.
Hey, the thing with Toro, so Graveman had been great in the month of August since being picked up by Houston until last night, and then it blew up. Joe Smith, the other guy that came over in the Toro trade, has been really good for Seattle, although it was interesting. He took the loss against his old team on Monday, and Graveman took the loss against his old team on Tuesday, which was kind of fun. And Toro's been great. OPS of like around 850 with Seattle. He's gotten his opportunity. I love the story. With all that being said, I rarely talk about my Cleveland Indians on this show. Can Ahmed Rosario get some love? He's actually been the best player in the Lindor trade between the 2 teams.
Maybe?
Yeah, he's been really, really good at the dish. He is the first player in Major League history to go 5 for 5 with 5 RBIs, 2 homers, including an inside-the-park job in the history of the sport. In the history of the sport, Plouffe.
That's a nice stat right there.
What are you laughing at, by the way? You got a giggle?
I was wondering, like, first in the baseball history, 5 for 5, 2 home runs, and he dropped the inside the park. I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense.
That's kind of cool, though. If you
It's
are
cool.
the only, he is the only person walking the planet or buried under it somewhere that ever did something. Ever.
I got something like that. You want to hear mine?
Can I guess what it is?
Yeah.
You're the only person to homer off of a position player in the 16th inning of a game.
The only walk-off homer ever against a position player. Ever, baby. Let's go. Give me a plaque. They should send me a plaque or something.
How about, can I send you a JOMBOY All-Star Denver t-shirt that I think smells a little ripe because it's about the second or third time I've worn it out here in Vegas?
Hey, we always like to shout out our dudes in the chat. The X-Men's here. Xavier Scruggs in the chat. Then my boy nameless
Nice.
Jeff in the chat telling everyone to chill out, that I stay high. Jeff, I'm not high right now. Everyone,
No.
It's just a joke that everyone plays on me.
Yeah. By the way, yeah, you're not high.
That's our number one chat,
Topic. Yeah.
is like, how high is C. Rose and Plouffe?
Well, Rose ain't at all. I can tell you that. I just have bags under my eyes because I've been working my ass off for like 10 days here. I don't know which way it's up.
To come home, relax by the pool a little bit.
I do have a day off today, so we'll cover that in a second. Last topic. Michigan Little League World Series champs. They visited the Detroit Tigers, got to hang out with them, autographs, pictures, all sorts of stuff. If you were a 12-year-old that is now crowned the Little League champion of the world, how long do you wear your jersey and get, pimp your Little League World Series championship ring at school?
Man, at all times. When you're that young and you're playing baseball, that's the only thing that you think about, man. Let's go to Williamsport, right? Go to Williamsport, do the damn thing. And then to actually do it's very hard to get there. And then to win things even harder. So, yeah, you'd be especially proud of that and maybe not take it off ever, dude. I didn't get the chance to play Little League baseball. I played a different brand of baseball. But during that time, you watched the World Series. That's big. For kids, that World Series is bigger than, like, the actual World Series.
Oh, yeah.
You see those kids, and you're pissed that you're not there. And for this team to go win it, be proud of that. You can wear that all year long. Show it to your teacher. Say, look, I got the ring. I'm out. I'm leaving class. I don't need this. I'm a champ, baby.
Oh, yeah, that's probably the way it goes. And I love it because I've been in clubhouses during the month of August when all the major leaguers are glued to the Little League World Series. Y'all love it, don't you?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, especially because, you go like, okay, you're from this city or this state, and you're rooting for your team. It's pretty good.
Or country. This year we didn't.
Well, yeah, we didn't have that this year.
Yeah, we didn't have it this year.
Those Michigan people didn't even really win the World Series. It was a country series.
Yeah. So it's Taylor North Little League. Let's give them a little shout. The biggest major leaguer to ever come out of their area was Steve Avery, the old lefty for the Braves, who burst onto the scene at 21. And you remember Steve Avery?
I'm looking him up right now.
Oh God, I cannot believe how young you are. This is unbelievable. It's so depressing.
It's from 1990 to 2003. Atlanta Braves, first-round pick, third overall.
Oh, yeah, he was a stud when he came up. So, they had everybody. They had Smoltz. They had Glavine. They, eventually signed Maddox away from the Chicago Cubs, I think, in 92. And Steve Avery was the kid at the back of the rotation. We're like, that dude is awesome. He eventually got banged up. He had some injury issues. Still ended up pitching, 13 in the show. Pretty good.
I think I remember him now. Now that I'm looking at his face and all these things, and I feel bad because I did take the World Series away from Michigan. I take that back. I'm now backtracking on that statement. You guys did it, okay?
Yeah,
Very proud.
let's be careful. All right, I got to get rolling. What do you have coming up on JOMBOY Media?
Our Talking Baseball episode premiered this morning on our YouTube pages. My sequence episode dropped yesterday talking about Liam Hendriks tipping his pitches. I think that's a really good watch. It's fun because you can really see it. And you can really see the Yankees just honing in on it. And their bats are just so good against them. And now we know why.
Yeah.
What do you got?
8 minutes. Recording another episode of the Rose Rotation with Miguel Rojas. That won't drop until next week. Once again, the schedule is a little funky because of BattleBots. Joey Votto episode drops tomorrow. We're putting the finishing touches on that. It's 45 minutes of fun and hilarity. It's insane.
He's going to play winter ball here, he said. Did you guys talk about that?
No. When did he say that?
I just read an article. He's like, I plan on playing, like into my 40s or something like that. And
he did talk about that
this year, and I'm not even kidding about it.
Well, once again, part of the lure of the discussion that'll be released tomorrow is trying to figure out when Joey is joking and when he's not. I've interviewed him probably 10 or 12 times in my career, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what? And then he'd go, ha ha ha, ha, joking. I'd be like, oh, God. But it's
life. Like, you say something to someone, read their facial expression, and then if it's good, you're not joking. If it's bad, I'm joking.
Right. It's tough. It's tough. All right, we're going to be back at it again tomorrow. We are going to go at the 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific train. If you can't catch us during the live, that's quite all right. We have the best editors in the biz. Dan's doing it today. So we'll have it out on our YouTube channels. It'll be out on Twitter. It'll be out on Instagram. You can find us each and every day. It is Baseball Today. It is the way to get your day started.
Are we getting merch soon or what?
We'll do merch. My guess is they'll turn it around for the off season. Matt and Graphics did an amazing job putting this whole new look together that we've got. So thank you. He crushed it. Let's keep enjoying baseball, and I'll see you tomorrow, Ploofy.
8 a.m.
Peace, brother.
Yes.